All right, greetings. Ooh, a little too bright even for me. There we go. That's better. Cool. All right, so yeah, this is Thousand-Year-Old Vampire, and I'm Scott of Scott's Case Files, and we're going to do yet another episode of the Thousand-Year-Old Vampire story. I believe this is number 4, fourth session. So I'll jump into it. First off, just a quick shout out to my companion through the ages with Thousand-Year-Old Vampire, Loppy, who couldn't be here tonight, but she's here in spirit, and I really appreciate it. And I will, let's get started. Let's jump right in. So, first of all, what I like to do generally is to kind of examine where we are. So let's look at, pardon me, let's look at kind of where we stand. All right, so Guillaume has successfully, or however you want to phrase it, forgotten about his original name, or he's lost the memory of the original name. So he's taken a new one, Salah. So Mark's, I actually got a second one. I forgot about this one. So my original one was the Stigmata thing. And recently, um, his skin is completely white. And I think this is just recently, as like when he's joined up with the noble that he's presently kind of living with. Pardon me, a little tickle there. So let's see, under skills, let's see, I've really lost the one. And otherwise, I have a lot of stuff to choose from. I'm using the alternate prompts of Thousand-Year-Old Vampire, and they've been very interesting. I think they've been very good to me. As you can see, I've checked off a few. I lost the one, and I have a bunch here yet. So these prompts have been generous. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like my vampire might be around for a while yet. So let's see here. Let's go to characters. So as you can see, a whole bunch of grayed outs means they're dead. Let's see here. I don't want to go like back to the beginning or anything, but basically most of the people he originally knew are dead. I think he's almost a century old now. So yeah, let's see here. These bottom ones are the more recent ones. So recently I've taken up with Klaus von Strauss. I didn't know that rhymed originally when I created that name. But minor Swedish noble that Salah has been hanging with. He's done some like advisory type role type stuff with him, and that's pretty much what he does for him. He has Salah has a servant named Ingrid, and she is basically, she's there to be fed off of when necessary, and better yet, she attracts people to his web, so to speak, for him to feed off of when necessary, when he can't leave the castle. Still another one of his traveling companions is still Saul, who is was originally ahead in the box when we got him, and he is a golem who now has a full body and has basically been Salah's companion for quite a few years now. Aziza was his lover, vampiric lover, and they broke up a while ago. Once Aziza kind of had like in his face knowledge of what Salah, or Guillaume at the time, had done during the Crusades. So yeah, so a lot of interesting stuff here. So Klaus is the main man. Let's see. Let's look at resources. The resources are slim here. So we have the camping kit, which is one of his original resources, a science book in Arabic, and one of the prompts had me mark a resource Counselor of Klaus as an actual resource. So that's interesting. That's going to be when if and when it comes time to give that up. That's going to be an interesting choice. So let's see here. So let's go. I'd like to go Forgotten Memories first. Let's do that. Let's see here. So yeah, so basically some basic stuff. He forgot about meeting this alchemist Dimitri, who kind of has run into again, and at least one more time, much to Dimitri's misery, really. Dimitri tried seducing Salah, and basically Salah didn't get that it was a come on, and saw these come ons as like a threat, and basically did him harm. But he's immortal. He has the Philosopher's Stone, or a Philosopher's Stone, so he's immortal, and I'm sure we'll meet up with him again. So I forgot. I basically forgot. After I lost Aziz as my lover, I decided to get rid of the memory. That's one of the great things about being a vampire. One of the great and one of the most miserable things is you lose memories. You can't keep it all. So, it must be nice to kind of flip the switch and get rid of heartbreak, if there is such a thing for vampires. Yeah, so this is the most recent Forgotten. Let's go over here. So a lot of the earlier stuff, some things about Lamia, but I believe he's kept a hold on his vampiric origins. Let's see here. A lot of stuff from the Crusades on the way there and back. There and back again, as it were. Let's see. Yeah, the origins of Saul, the golem. I've forgotten that, but he's still my companion, so that is interesting. And let's go to my present memories. These are the ones I've maintained. So the way that Thousand Year Vampire works is each memory has 3 experiences under it. When you do another prompt, we'll get to prompts shortly. When you do a prompt, each prompt requires you to have a new experience, which requires you to kind of interact with this page here. So basically either if there's room under a memory, and it kind of there's a theme between the various experiences, you can pop it under an existing memory. If there's no room or there's no theme that it matches, you gotta get rid of a memory and carry on. So yeah, so let's see here. So right now I have several memories of my time with Klaus, this Swedish noble. Let's see. Yeah, the sexually secured marriage of his daughter. This is interesting. So one of the prompts basically made it so that there was like something I needed to kind of care about carrying on a line. So I chose Klaus's line. So that's going to be interesting. So let's see. Let's see. All memory of so immersion. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, so I find the reason I forgot my one name, I have another. This is what Sla is what these Middle Eastern merchants called me in their account, and it was an account I read, and I could see that it was me, but with another name, so I just took that name since I had none. Let's see. So more Klaus stuff. There's a lot of Klaus stuff. So there's going to be some forgetting about Klaus sometime in the near future. It's just inevitable, and that will be a tragedy because he and his family have become rather important to Salah. Let's see. Ooh, pardon me. Let's see, some memory again, more Klaus memories. So yeah, so here's my vampiric origin memory. Interesting. So I still have that. This is from way back when in the very first session. So, all right. So basically, we know where he has come from. Let's see where he is going. Actually, diary. Okay, so this is a lost diary. So I basically swapped some stuff over here and have since lost it. So not great. Not a good timing thing on my part, but here we are. Okay, so let's do this. Let's actually I'm going to read the last journal entry, so kind of we're up to speed here. All right, so and basically, so I'm the last prompt I did last session was the 35th prompt of this game for me. The prompt number was 70, and this is again, these are alternate prompts. It was the first time I'd hit this prompt, so the first section. Some of these have multiple sections. Like if you hit it the second time, you go to the second part of the prompt, etc. The year is 1207 Common Era. There we are. Let's do this. Let's get back to my roll. All right, let's do the prompt roll. -2. Let's see, what is someone 70? 68. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Just look at it. So across languages and aliases, your name shifts. Where do you go that prompts the most recent change? Pick a new name that feels appropriate for who you are now and right at the top of your character sheet, crossing off your previous name. Include the experience and what your previous name was. Include this in this experience what your previous name was. Gotcha. Cross languages and aliases. So that's interesting. Is it forcing? Does this prompt force me to kind of move on? Let's look at how long I've been with Saul, or not Saul, excuse me. Klaus. So let's see when that happened originally. Okay. Okay, so it's been, let's see, so 1200 was when they met, and 1207, so it's not been a whole lot of years, really. Let's see. So the question is, what do I do with this prompt? It's a good prompt. So let's take another look over here. So let's see here. So a memory. Let me look at this. Let me read this over again. Across languages and aliases, your name shifts. Where do you go that prompts the most recent change? Ooh. Let's see here. So let's take a look at the map of the era. Kind of curious. All right. Actually, so this is a hard one. It's kind of it's kind of asking me to move on. So let's see, 1207 Europe map. Okay. All right. All right. So Sweden, Denmark. Ooh. I wonder if he crosses into Denmark for some doings with Klaus. I don't think I'm quite ready to leave him yet, but let's see let's find some like a Danish name. Danish male names. Interesting. Already some good ones. All right, so let's go for Ansgar. That sounds pretty cool. All right, so let's go here. Okay. Another forgotten name. Time for a new one. Oh, Ansgar. Spear of God. I'm gonna make this will be an interesting one. All right. Let's make sure I get everything I need for the prompt. So pick a new name. Include this experience what your previous name was. Interesting. Okay, so my other name isn't forgotten. Maybe I'm going by several names now. Now I'm going to be crossing over. So that's cool. All right, so let's do it. So basically, my thing is go to do the prompt roll, get the prompt, go to character sheet, make any changes I need to make, go to the journal, and do the thing, and then we will write up the experience. This is a shortened version of this right here. Let's do that. So prompt 36 prompt of this game. Prompt 68, it's the first. And let's call it, just for kicks, let's move ahead, 1210. Seems like the last prompt kind of gave us room to move. All right, let's see here. So, an ambassadorial trip to Denmark to meet with another minor noble. I met with his caravan on the road as he was escorting mine into his domain. We were met up with by a foolhardy but large group of brigands seeking their fortune, either through theft or ransom. The night was dark, but I found myself fighting between caravans with our bonfire showing the scene. Yeah. The Danish nobleman was astounded at my strength and vigor, as I used just short of my superhuman abilities to stave off the attack, killing many of the thugs in the process. Let's see. He named me Ansgar. Spear of God. God, for my heroics that day. Needless to say, my negotiations went well, and I made another ally for my lord Klaus in the process. I suspect that he actually knows more of my dark origin than he is letting on, but he hides it well. So I let it be. Cool. Alright, let's make an experience. Alright, this easily goes in this memory here, another negotiation. trip to Denmark, I defended a nobleman against brigands. He deemed me Ascar, and though I do not leave Salah behind, this is my name now in his country. Cool. All right. Well, first of the night. I have to say that this this series has really been testing the fortitude of my throat. I don't normally talk for this long consistently. But 3 hours straight every night is testing me. I think I'm getting used to it though, a little bit. You can still hear like the scratch in the back. But all right, let's go on to the next prompt. It's 1. 0. Interesting. Okay, so I'm on the same prompt. There is a second one. Interesting. Oh wow. Okay. So the second part of that prompt is you meet someone who shares your former name and grow to hate them. Create a new mortal character with that name. If you still remember this name, replace that name in your memory with a proper noun from elsewhere in your memories. If not, replace all proper nouns in another memory with that name. I am not understanding the English of this one. Let me go back over here. Okay. Create a new mortal character with that name. Let's see. If you still remember this name. So I'm going to say I do. I haven't given up this name, so to speak. If you still remember this name, replace that name in your memory with a proper noun from elsewhere in your memories. Oh, interesting. Okay, I get you. So I could say this is Guillaume. That's the person. If you still remember this name, replace that name. If not, replace all proper nouns in another memory with that name. Interesting. So I think what this is trying to do is kind of I get like a little whiff of the memory of my original name. So I have actually forgotten my very first name, which was Guillaume. So let's do this. So let's create character Guillaume. Okay. So let's do this. LeBlanc. Traveling Bard, who shares my original name. That is interesting. Okay. All right, well, let's go right to the journal. Let's do this. There we are. Okay. Alrighty. This is prompt 37. It is 68 again, and this is the second time I've hit this one. Let's call this 1211. Let's move it forward here. There's no reason to keep it sitting there. Let's see. One night in Klaus's castle, a traveling troubadour. Thank you, spell checker. Found his way to the court and entertained my lord for a week straight. His name was Guillaume. A name that triggers echoes inside of me, but I know not where from. I watch patiently as Klaus finds merriment and distraction in this minstrel, but abhor the amount of gold that he lavishes on this Guillaume. Yep, sorry. He takes advantage of my lord, and the only thing that keeps him safe is his value in entertainment. That is harder for Klaus to come by in these years. Detest the bard and make no do not attempt to cover up my disdain, though it falls on deaf ears near Klaus. All right. So yeah, so this guy is basically taking advantage of this guy who I basically am serving. So yeah, interesting prompt. Let's go and make the memory. All right. Let's see. I'll get rid of this memory. I don't really care about this one. Let's get rid of memory 4. And let's move that to forgotten memories right away. Okay. And let's make a new memory. Okay. Traveling. Let's see. Traveling bard. Has been entertaining Klaus Castle for a time, but taking advantage of his good favor. I detest him. I detest this Guillaume, but tolerate him for my lord's benefit. Okay, what else did the thing say? Alright. Create immortal, if you remember this name. I don't remember this name, so replace all proper nouns in another memory with that name. Interesting. So let's see. Weird. That's a weird prompt. Nothing really makes a lot of sense. Let's see here. I think that this would probably place all proper nouns in another memory. None of that would make a lot of sense. I suppose it's like Swiss cheese memory for the vampire. I suppose this one. So, Guillaume crosses my path again. And Guillaume. So it doesn't actually say that I need to that I think that like this new guy is in these memories, but it does mean that like yeah, so a Guillaume was so Guillaume crossed my path yet again. So maybe I have some vague memory of this Guillaume. Instead of Lamia memory, it's Guillaume, this person. Definitely not this troubadour though, since he's not a vampire, and this memory would have happened some time ago. Successfully secured the marriage of the daughter of Guillaume. Interesting. This is weird. Yeah, I don't know. This is a weird one. But that's the prompt says, and it's not nonsensical, so I don't have any right to say no to it. But it'll be definitely like my memory is muddled with this memory. All right, let us carry on. -2. Geez, I'm going backwards here. So it was 68, so 66. Oh, shit. So 66 is you accidentally produce a child with whom create a mortal character. Record an additional experience about the best day you ever have with them. Interesting. Let's see. So I'm kind of looking at cheating by looking. No, I'm not cheating, but I'm looking ahead at the other prompt. So, um, with it. Interesting. Okay. Man, this is a tough one again. With whom? Oh, I see. So I see what's going on. The second prompt under this can mean like they basically grow old and die, and then future vampires you make, you potentially could like they could be your descendants. So you could have descendants. So all right, well, let's do this. Salah slash uh Ansgar makes a baby. So let's go to characters and make the child. Let's see here. So still in Sweden. Okay. Okay. And it's a girl. Oh, perfect name already. Astrid. Cool. All right, so here we are. Astrid. Um, mortal child. Mortal child. Let's leave it at that. All right. So let's go to the journal. And let's see, was it Ingrid? I suppose it has to be Ingrid. Sorry, Ingrid. Okay. So it's the 38th prompt. It's 66. First one. And let's see here. Let's call it another 2 years later, so 13. 12, 13 Common Era. My time with Ingrid has been wide and varied. What started off as a need for blood that then became a companion to help me hunt became something more. I did not know that my kind could father children, but nonetheless, a child, Astrid, is born to us. The child is a miracle, though she displays one of my failings, which is the completely chalk white skin. She is definitely my offspring. Years pass pleasantly with Astrid in my life, and I find that my advanced years give me more to teach my child, far more than any mortal could hope to pass on. She is a joy, but she is my child and is therefore in danger should the monsters from my past raise their fetid heads. Alrighty. Let's make the memories. To make two, apparently. So one of this thing and then one of memories with the child. Yeah, let's put under 4. Basically, I think this is the thread here is time in the castle. That seems logical. And my intimate time spent with Ingrid, we have created a child together, Astrid. She is her father's daughter, and I fear for her well-being in more ways than one. And teaching Astrid what I know and have learned through the years is a pleasure. I only hope that she does not grow old too quickly. Alright. Let's make some room here. Let's see. I have move this up here. Ish. And memory 5. Huh, running out of space here. Let's see. Maybe I can move this up. Sorry for the bookkeeping here. Working on it. Oh, that's better. Should be more than enough room. Cool. All right. All right. So we're good with that one. Awesome. So I think I'm going to skip a bunch of years and see where that goes after this. Let's see what the prompt is first. Let's see how we do in there. -3. Wow. So let's see. So that was 66, so 63. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. So, okay. You are involuntarily sealed off from civilization for a lifetime. How did this happen? Strike out all mortal characters. Wow, prompt. Holy bajolies. I just found this, like, happiness, this little bit of happiness in my life, and here we are. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. This is interesting. All right. Well, I did say I was going to move forward a few years. So yeah, holy bajolies, I did not see that coming. All right, so let's go to characters. Let's get rid of all the mortal characters. Wow. Man. Guillaume. Dead. 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 Saul is still around. Aziz is still around. Victoria, who has been transformed into a hunter, is still around. Dimitri is still around. Lamia is still around. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of death. Um, wow. So I'm gonna call this like a whole century. How about that? But let's figure out how that happens. All right. Wow. Wow. So the 39th prompt, 63. First time hitting that. And also make this like I'm gonna jump. I will jump forward a few years. Let's so like the Astrid grows up a bit. So let's give her 16 years. So it's 29, 1229 when this happens. Wow, what a prompt! This is huge. I was kind of waiting for something like this to happen, but I really haven't been peeking and cheating. Well, again, it's not cheating, but I've been peeking forward or back in the prompts to see what's coming. So this is a surprise. I did not expect this so soon, especially since I've been going back. Mathematically, this game wants you to go forward since you're subtracting a d6 from a d10 result. So this is a lot of going back. Let's see where we are. A fire started in Klaus Castle, threatening to burn the entire structure to the ground. I have Klaus's line to protect, as well as my own now. I use every single ounce of my vampiric strength, speed, and endurance to save who I can and get them out of the what do you call it? I'm supposed to say, I would call it the structure. Get them out of the death trap. I hide nothing and hold nothing back. It is as I get Ingrid and Astrid out, the final two for whom I have feelings that were left in the castle, the burning castle. One of the walls collapses on me and pins me underneath with no leverage and no means of escape. And even more importantly, no blood. I fall into a deep slumber. Deep slumber and pass many years in what to me seems but a single day. All right. Wow. We're about to skip forward a little bit, people. All right, so let's make that experience. Let's see here. What? Where would this go? Or if anywhere. See if I can. For Klaus. Okay, so things I do for Klaus. This could be here. Let's see. Klaus's castle catches fire, and I help those to escape who I can. Is it proper? I don't know, let's leave it like that. But in the process, am trapped for a lifetime under the rubble. Not much to say to that. Can I bring this just up a little? Okay, cool. Wow. I did not see that coming so quickly, but still very cool. All right, so let's keep it going. 1. Let's see, 63 to 64. Ooh, interesting. So this is I've hit 64 before. So the first one was you find a substitute for your current food source. How is change sustenance expressed by your physical appearance? That's when I gained the mark of, basically dining on all these inbred nobles. I suddenly got, I turned stark white. So previous food source become unavailable, maybe because all the nobles around here are dead. Though the substitute wasn't meant to be permanent. All right, yeah. So what do you lose from this besides food? Check a skill or lose a resource. Let's see. All right, so let's look at skills. I have a bunch of those to go. Let's see here. Let's see. Previous food source becomes unavailable, though the substitute wasn't meant to be permanent. Do you lose the signs of food? All right. So I don't know. So this is a tough one. So basically, I'm coming out of this tomb or whatever, and I'm going to let's see. Check a skill or okay. So I think it's going to have to be boldly feed. That makes a lot of sense right now. I mean, I'm going to basically going to be becoming hungry and coming out of this, and he's just going to feed. So that's what I lose. I suppose that's the best way. I can't really incorporate this prompt any better. I don't think so. But I did check the skill, and let's see what we have. Let's go. Let's go tell the story. Okay. All right. So this is the 40th prompt of my game here. It's prompt 64. This is the second time I've come upon this. This will be 1329. Let's call it a straight century later. 1329. Wow. Let's see here. Let's see. A group of soldiers takes solace in the ruins of what was once Klaus's castle. In trying to make their position more secure, they raise several of the stone walls that were still intact to include those that were my tomb. When they see me, they are astounded to find a corpse long forgotten by whomever had owned this, who had reigned over this region. I I am quickly, though, turned into a plaything as they set me up in a spot around their fire. This desiccated body that I'd inhabited. It wasn't until I fell over during their drunken revelries and into the lap of one of the younger men that I sink in my fangs and drink deeply for the first time in a century. The blood was not noble, but it was the most delicious sensation that I can recall at that time. Once the first nourishes me, it is just moments or minutes until the rest of the band has followed suit, they would never be heard of again and likely considered deserters. But they gave me the gift of their lives and their clothing. Fashions do tend to change over a century's time. After all. Wow. Just jumped ahead. Amazing. Oop, I should have gotten the feeding picture here. Oh. Ah. Blood everywhere. But no, we're done with that now. All right. That was cool. So let's create this memory. So yeah, boldly feeding. Okay, so memory. Let's get rid of this one. This is all muddled anyway, and I probably sense it. So let's get rid of that. That's going to be a forgotten memory. All right. All right, I have a fresh memory for a fresh century. Awake from my century slumber to soldiers see me as a plaything. Yeah. As a plaything. Once I get the taste of blood, I take it all and make my way in this new era. Cool. All right. Jeez. That was a shocker. So, yeah. Jeez. So let's continue on. Let's soldier on, as it were. Next prompt. 2. Okay. So let's see. I'm on 63. So 65. Oh, that's interesting. So I'm back up to the oh, that's interesting. So basically this is the one where I create the child. Um let's see. So this is the second one. So it gets to our what we talked about before. So your child grows old and dies, which this is totally apropos. Spend a century, leaving you with a healthy lineage. Strike off your child, gain the resource profane lineage. For as long as you have this resource, every time you create a mortal character, roll your d10. If it is 0, that character is your descendant, whether you remember that or not. Okay. Profane lineage. Let's pop that out there real fast. Under resources. Let's see. Profane lineage. Interesting. I wonder, should I strike off this counselor to Klaus? Or maybe that has something I can use as a resource in the future. Let's keep it. So, all right. All right, let's do the journal and then the memory. All right. All right. All right. So this is the 41st prompt of this game. Was it 65? Let's see here. Yep, 65. Let's see. Actually, hold on. Sorry. Oh, whoop. 63. Okay, so 64. Did I mess up? Oh, so we're 2. So no, I'm sorry. It's 64. That was the second one. So 66. Oh. Interesting. So there are 2 very similar ones. Let's see which one I actually did. So 66. Okay, so it was 66 that I did. So that's what we're on. There's one where this was accidentally produce a child, and the 65 was you intentionally. So let's see. So yeah, so let's actually, I'm sorry. I've messed up. Let's go to resources. It's not profane lineage, it's arcane lineage. Okay. Sorry about that. I totally forgot it went to 63 to 64, and then the plus 2, 66. Sorry about that. Sorry. My bad. My bad. All right, so your child grows old and dies, leaving you with a healthy lineage. Same idea. Start off your child, gain the resource arcane lineage. For as long as you have this resource, every time you create an immortal character, roll your d10. If it is a 1, that character is your descendant, whether you remember or not. Okay, so same general idea, but instead of new characters, these are new immortals. Right? Whenever I create an immortal. Ooh, where do I want? All right, so let's get back here. All right, so for 1, 66, a second, and let's do 1330. All right. After some travels, yeah. All right. After some travels, I begin research into what has happened to those that I loved through this intervening century. I know that the mortals that I knew, to include my daughter, are long dead, but it matters to me what became of them in their lives and in their deaths. It doesn't take long to see that Astrid had several children, and that nearly all lived to adulthood. After that, my research turns up few leads, but it means something to know that my line still exists. Perhaps I will even run into one of my progeny. The progeny? My descendants. As I travel. Wow. Alright, let's make the memory. Let's see. Let's continue on here. So this is like my new life is the thread that holds these memories together. So I research what happened to those mortals whom I left behind, and find that my daughter has continued line successfully. Perhaps I will meet one of my descendants in my travels. Nice. All right. So let's take a. Just want to take a quick look at what we're doing here. So let's see. Where did we start? I think this one. Yeah, okay, so 1207, our 35th prompt. So we're 6 prompts in right now, about to be 7. That is impressive. All right. Cool. All right, let's go on to the next prompt. 4. All right. So 66 plus 4 is 70. Let's see. Interesting. So this is very much not chronologically feasible, but let's see here. So basically, this goes back to when I created my thrall Ingrid as a food source, but it became something more. So Ingrid and her line is, she and Astrid are dead, but so the mortal begins to take advantage of the relationship, and you find yourself under their thumb, but still caring for them deeply. What do they have you doing for them? Check a skill. Gosh, there's really no great way to do this. This is an interesting prompt. So let's see. So let's look at my skills. I mean, that's where we need to start off to get an idea of what to do here. All right. So check a skill. Maybe this. Oh, well, let's go with this. Again, this is not the best prompt here, but I'm willing to work with it. So know the rosary. So this is originally when I realized that I realized I had some kind of weird weakness to the rosary. So I began to know it, to understand when someone was doing it, recognize it, etc. So let's go with it. Let's go with it. So, all right. 42nd prompt. This is prompt 70, the alternate prompt again. 2nd time doing this. 1340. Okay. So the mortal begins to take advantage of the relationship. So she's dead, but what does they have you do? They have you doing? Well, that's gonna be interesting. Let's see. In traveling in Sweden, I came upon a small church. The landmarks are hard to read after so many years have passed, but I believe this church to be where Ingrid found. Ooh, just. Pedro, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. I turned that down. I didn't know I had that alert up so high. Goodness. Yeah, Pedro, thank you for the follow, and feel free to chat or lurk as you like. But let's get back to this. Okay, right. But I believe the church to be where Ingrid found solace when we would venture forth from the castle. Let's see here. I wandered out behind it to find a cemetery. In my curiosity, I looked over each plot and gravestone and found, to my surprise, not only Ingrid's tomb, but a message from her. It was cryptic, but it asked that to prove my undying gratitude to her for giving me a child, that I perform the rosary, something that she knew was painful to me, on her birthday each year in remembrance. I search my feelings and am not sure if it is within me to actually love another, but I certainly had a fondness for her that was rare to be found for others. Close enough. I decided to carry through on her wish and will do as she asked through her own epitaph as the years progress. Whew. Damn. That is a heck of a experience. So I did not see that prompt coming, but that was interesting. So again, the prompt really didn't fit in, but I think I made it fit in okay. Definitely. Oops. Oh, I didn't have you on the right screen. So here's what I was typing. Let's see here. So let's go and let's create that memory right away. Let's see here. Oh wow! See, now we're getting down to stuff where what do I want to lose? Let's see here. Let's put this. This is going to be a tough one. So this is my last experience I can have under this memory. But so that's gonna be very interesting next prompt. But let's see how we do. So this memory again is kind of like a smaller version of my journal entry that I did before. So let's say by chance I found Ingrid's grave with a request from her to say the rosary every year on her birthday. And though it literally pains me to do so, I will perform this rite for her, or right in her memory. Alright. Running out of space. Alright. Okay. Cool. So let's see here. So that's that. I can probably move that down, but let's not worry about that at the moment. Alright, so let's go on to the next prompt. What will the dice tell me to do next? 5. Alright. Let's see here. So we are on 70. So now we're up to 75. Let's see. Interesting. And again, these are alternate prompts under 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. So these are not the standard ones you'll see generally when you're watching anyone do the actual playthrough of the game. So this is just interesting. So okay, 75 under the alternate prompts are: you overhear some mortals theorizing about human origins, about where they all come from. Given the information you glean from your body, skills, memories, resources, where do you think you come from? Since you may have forgotten your actual origins, create a skill about self-reflection or self-definition. Wow. And some of these alternate prompts are very weird and interesting. So I'll go with this. This sounds interesting. So before we do that, let's take a look at what I actually do remember of my origins here. Let's look at my memories that I've retained. So I remember Klaus. Let's look for stuff where it's like my actual origins. Let's see. So pretty much the only one I have left is these memories of Lamia. So Lamia was the vampire who created me in the beginning. So here's what I have. Lamia took me while en route home from Jerusalem. This was during the First Crusade. I was defiant, but accepted my fate in the end. I knew my limitations. Let's see, the second, to save lives of fellow crusaders, Lamia made me vow to kill crusaders along the way home. So the killing strangers instead of like companions is the only gambit she gave me. It was a vow that I never realized that I would need to keep. At the time when she made me promise this, it was as I was fading. I thought I was dying, and lo and behold, I didn't. My first victim was a young priest en route to the west. I regretted my act and decided that I would carry out his last wish to say a prayer for him at the cathedral in Rome, which I did actually. So okay, so those are the only like origins I remember. So let's see what this is. So a skill of self-reflection. Gosh. Yeah, sometimes these alternate prompts are difficult. But let's go for it. Let's go to skills here. I have a bunch of skills, but let's create the new one per this prompt. So let's see here. So self-reflection. Looking inside. That's best I got. So let's see what I come up with while I do the journal. And that's generally where I get my best inspiration from, is when I'm actually doing the journal. So let's just go for it. All right. So let's see. So this is the 43rd prompt of my Thousand-Year-Old Vampire game. We're on alternate prompt 75. It's the first time I've hit this one. And we're going to call it, and let's pop another decade. So 1350 Common Era. All right. So let me read the prompt one more time, just make sure I'm at least getting as much of it as I can. You ever hear some mortals theorizing about human origins, about where they come from? Given the information you've gleaned from your body, skills, memories, resources, where do you think you come from, since you may have forgotten your actual origins? Let's see. So this is interesting. So, all right. And where do I find myself? You would have moved around by this time, so where would we be? Let's see here. Where I can't get. Oh, just trying to maneuver my way around a map of the era. Let's try this again here. So let's see. So 13 European map. All right. Well, let's assume this is right. So, let's say I find myself in Normandy. Basically, the area of land between would be basically France and England. So England, Normandy. Okay. Let's see. During my travels, I find myself wandering through Normandy. I find great interest in the learned institutions in the area and find myself spending time in the company of scholars. The most intriguing are the philosophers, as they try to distinguish their origins, where man came from, and why he was made to be. The texts available to these learned men are from far and wide, to include the Far East, where origins of where the origins of man are thought to have been spawned by gods, or even under the protection of a large turtle. I think it goes back to like the origin of, you know, the turtle that supports the world. I think it's Indian. I forget exactly where it comes from, but we'll go with that. Again, I'm not a historical scholar. I don't pretend to be. This is just for fun, and we'll kind of take it where it leads. Let's see. It came from, let's see. In examining my own origins as a vampire, a creature of darkness can only assume that we come from the darkest places in the human psyche and are made solid, are given form until the evil and the need of blood can't help but contaminate another. I am just the product of the evil of man in the end. Aren't we all? Ooh, deep. Very deep. Cool. Alright, so let's go to memory. Or the experience, rather. And now we're going to have to give something up. The question is, what am I willing to leave behind? We basically have, there's 3 experiences in each memory. So one of these has to go. I could possibly shuffle one over to a diary, though. So, ooh, that's actually not a bad idea. Let's see. Wow, and this is so hard because now these are all things I want to remember. And it's gonna be it's just a shame to lose any of these. Wow. All right. So I think it's going to be this one. I'll forget why I was like, trapped for a whole century away. But otherwise I think this is the lesser of all the evils. So let's take that. Let's transfer it over to Forgotten Memories. I'm packing these guys up. All right. All right. So let's make this new memory. Oop. All right. So, in spending time with the learned of the area, I examine my own origins and believe that I am just another byproduct of the evil of man. Capital M. Alright. Examine. There you go. Alright. Cool. Through another prompt. And yeah, we're kind of getting down to some nitty gritty with memories here, because yeah, these are all kind of important. And I'd literally just forgotten why I lost a century of time. So it's hard. And all these memories are now going to be like, they're important to me. It's a matter of time before it's like I basically have to say I'm through remembering Klaus and my time with him and his court. So that is going to be interesting. I think that might be worthy of diary, but we'll see how we do there. All right. Let's see what we have here. Let's do the roll. 0. Oh, geez. I'm back on the same one. So let's see here. Okay, so this 70, we're still on the 75th prompt in the alternate prompts. Second one. As you continue to think about your origins, you develop a theory. How does your clarified outlook on who or what you are change how you behave night to night? Create a skill about a code of conduct befitting your new understanding of yourself. Ooh, wow. Let's see. Wow. And so basically I've decided, interestingly, the last prompt had me decide that I'm just this byproduct of human evil. So what does that tell me? What's my theory that I'm developing? I don't think that bodes well for mortals around me. But let's see. So let's create a skill code of conduct. Let's see here. So let's go to skills. I have a lot of skills here, so let's make another one per the prompt. Okay, so let's see here. Um, how does it, so code of conduct that affects how I live night to night. Um, I wonder if this just pushes me over the edge to be a little bit more like just plain old evil. I mean, like, so okay, so let's see. Mortals, like, um, mortals. Oh yeah, mortals are fleeting, or mortals are. Um, Mortals are temporary. So basically, this is me saying, yeah, they're not exactly anything to be treasured. These mortals, I'm just a product of the evil that comes from them. Why shouldn't I, you know, treat them like little disposable chunks of meat, basically? So that's bad for like literally every mortal around me at this point. Bad. So okay, so let's go and let's do the thing. Let's do the journal real quick. Um, let's see here. All right, so 75. Okay. All right, so this is prompt 44 of my game here. We're still on 75. This time the second prompt of that prompt. Let's just give it a year. So 1351. All right. Time passes, and I examine my origin and place in the world. Origin. Thank you, spell check. I find that I see myself as just a creature made by the evil of man and find no reason to protect mortals from my needs that they themselves have, in essence, created within me. Why shouldn't they serve as my throwaway playthings and beasts? Ooh, this is a short prompt, but wow. So that does change a bunch of stuff. So that was quite an interesting prompt. Again, the if you look at my skills and whatnot, this has been very generous. These alternate prompts are very generous to me. So the game here ends when one of a couple things happens. One, I get to a prompt where it tells me you've died because you're the end of the story is you die as a vampire. Um, or if you get to a prompt that tells you to check or lose a skill or to lose a resource and you can't do either. When that happens, then you're all done. You've now met your end in that prompt. But there's so many here that I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I will be limiting this to 10 sessions. This is like number 4. So I've already done so much already. But let's see how we do from here. So let's see. Let's make that memory or that experience rather. All right. So again, now I'm at the point where it's time to get rid of something. So do I? Wow. Okay, so I can either forget about my origins as a vampire, my time with Ingrid and the child we created. This is all the memories of my child, basically. Um, my time with Klaus and how important his line was to me, as important, and how important he was. Or I can lose. Let's see. I can just lose what I've already just learned, which I don't know. It doesn't really sit well with me. Or let's see, I examine my own origin. I'm just another byproduct evil man. Okay, well, you know what? I this okay. So this basically to put an experience with the memory, there must be something that keeps them together, a thread that kind of weaves the two together. And this is literally the second sub prompt of this prompt. So this goes here. So it looks like I don't have to get rid of anything, but we are literally on the edge of giving up some really important stuff. So let's see how we do. In even more deeply examining my origins, I find that mortals can be treated as temporary and minuscule. Time will do this to them anyway. So what are they to me? All right. Cool. All right. Let's see here. So it's time to roll again. We're going to another prompt already. We're kicking some butt here. Let's see. So let's do the prompt roll. 5. All right. So let's see. Where are we? Okay, so this is 75 plus 5 takes me to prompt 80. Let's see here. 80. You encounter someone who resembles a lover you had long ago. They're on the arm of someone who looks much like you did. Create 2 characters. What do you do to or for them? Bad news. Bad timing for this prompt. Let me tell you. So let's see. So I don't really remember. Oh, you know what? I do have a lover in that I have in memory. Yeah, so let's go with this. Okay, so I do still have the memories of Ingrid. So let's go with that. All right. So let's see here. So I'm gonna create 2 characters, and spoiler alert, they're all gonna die. Okay. So let's see here. Let's make a couple characters. And where are we? We're in kind of like the Norman England area. So let's call them Elizabeth. Looks like Ingrid. And Jonathan looks like me. Sorry, I'm just gonna right away. I'm just gonna put you into the GM layer, which means dead. And let's go straight to the journal. All right. So this is the 45th prompt of the game. We're cruising. We're on actual prompt number 80. It's the first time hitting this prompt. And let's make it an even 1360. Why not? Let's see. Wandering through. Let's see here. Yeah. Normandy. I happen upon 2 lovers in the woods. They are young, unwed, and resemble both Ingrid and I. And me, sorry, that's proper use at this point. Both Ingrid and me. At first, I think that I am witnessing a vision of the past. But as they continue their love play in the woods, and I advance upon them, as they still think themselves secreted away from prying eyes, I see that they are but mortals who by chance happen to resemble myself and the mother of my child. As I shake my head and tisk at them, they look up, only half clothed. Oop. We gotta do the bloody face here, so do that. Closed. I give them a moment of shock before I pounce and savagely rip them apart, gleefully beating upon them as I do so. When I am finished, my clothing is soaked red, and the two youths will never be identified, as what remains will certainly be dragged away by the beasts of the area in the next few days. I say goodbye to a recollection of Ingrid as I make my way to a nearby pond to clean up and change and forget. Ooh, this is perfect. Oh, I did not see this coming. This is kind of like the beauty of the prompts. It's as I write these journals that things just come to mind. So this is a perfect time to forget about Ingrid. It makes perfect sense. This prompt really works out. So let's go ahead and forget about her as we make our new experience. Let's see here. It's time to forget about Ingrid. So memory 4 is going. So I'll forget about my lover and my child, who was somehow conceived by me, a vampire. And actually, what? Yeah, no, I was going to put this in diary, but again, I think this really belongs forgotten because of that prompt. I haven't been making a whole lot of use of diaries because it doesn't feel right, but eventually I think I'll pop some more in there when I do start another diary. But not yet. All right. So the memories of Ingrid are gone. Let's see. Let's see. I come upon two youths in the forest who look like myself and someone now forgotten by me, a lover. I leave a memory of the lover behind with the drained and torn corpses of the two lovers. All right, wow, that was kind of big. I just gave up a whole section of what made him him. So yeah, wow, that was impressive. Ooh, pardonnez-moi. Ooh. That's right. Let's go on to the next prompt. Let's do this. Another 5. Jeez. I'm zipping ahead here. All right, so that was 80. So now we're on 85. Oh, interesting. All right. You donate one of your objects to a museum. Which do you choose? Why is it of interest to them? Whom do you hope will see it? Lose a resource, which is an object. If you don't have an appropriate resource, instead donate something you habitually wear. Okay, we have some potential items here. So let's figure out what that is. So I think this is an easy one. So I years ago, near my origins, I got this science book in Arabic. So we're gonna say that's what I donate. All right, so cool. Let's make the journal entry. Okay, prompt 46 of this game. Actual prompt 85. First time seeing this one, and let's call it 1370. Might as well. All right. So let's see. Where do we start with this one? As I search for institutions of learning and history, I find a museum that catches my eye and visit therein. I find objects of war and of art from around the time of the First Crusade, the very war in which I fought, and the one from which I would never return home from. The reverie of the experience prompts me to donate a book that I've had for some time. A science book written in the Saracen tongue. I hope that an immortal, perhaps my own maker, will someday come through and appreciate it as much as I have. Such things are wasted on mortals, but perchance this object will titillate an immortal is reason enough to leave it behind. All right. Okay, let's make the memory. Oop, not what I wanted. Okay. I think this one goes with learning. Learned people. I'm gonna pop it there. I left behind my Arabic science text at a museum in the hopes that another immortal will enjoy it as I have. Okay, cool. So do we want to go straight on the next prompt? Sure. Let's do this. Ugh. Let's see here. Okay, let's make the roll. 8. Jeez. All right, so let's see. That was 85 plus 8, 93. All right, this is so because these are alternate prompts, I'm allowing myself to skip those that are admittedly nonsensical. In the beginning of the alternate prompts, it says basically some of these are nonsensical, some of these are out of historical order, etc., etc. So I've way back when I started this, I reserved the right to ignore prompts that were just nonsensical. That, yeah. So I'm going to get rid of this. So this is basically, you've created a nest using regurgitated wood pulp and saliva. You deeply feel that it's durable and safe. Take it as a stationary resource. What have you decorated it with? And that goes on to doing like laying eggs and stuff. And this is just silly. I will not do this prompt. So I'm gonna re-roll this. 0. All right. Well, let's see. That doesn't have a second prompt, and it doesn't really make sense to do it again. I'm gonna yet again re-roll. Try it. Jeez. 5. All right. So 90. Jesus Christ, it's another fucking nonsensical one. You've been shrinking. You're about a foot shorter than you were. How does it mean you create a skill? Um, God, I don't want to cop out, but there's just these are kind of just silly, and they don't really go along with like the theme of the vampire story, the vampire life. Um, let's see here. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do this. This whole section I think might just be uh this is okay, these are all not good. I'm just gonna these are all I don't like any of these. These are all like nonsensical. They don't go with the theme I'm looking for. Um I'll I'll give it one more roll, and then I'm just gonna like skip over these numbers and go from there. All right, 2. Let's see. Let's see, 5, so 87. Okay, let's go with 87. That seems reasonable. All right, so an artistic pursuit attracts your attention. What is it? You pass as years pass as you casually dedicate yourself to mastering it. Strike out 2 or more mortal characters who die of old age in the interim. Create a skill about creating art. So I don't think I have any mortal characters that are alive. Bad timing, right? Nope. Oh, pardon me. So I suppose we have to do the thing. Let's see here. So what is the art form? And gosh, I'm starting to rack these up. Do you want to go with just painting? I think painting is cool. Let's do painting. Sure. Works for me. Cool. Okay. So let's go to the journal. And let's see here. So this will be the 47th prompt. Which one was this again? Prompt 87. The first prompt of that type. And say 1375. Okay. After wandering through France again, I come upon a community of artists. This commune is as peaceful a place as I have known in recent years. Let's see. In recent years, the mortals here are as fleeting as any others, but they create art in an attempt to achieve a kind of immortality. For so long as their works persist, so do they. With a little debate, they take me in as one of their own and begin teaching me their art. The paints flow over the canvases, and I pass many years mastering this art. The artists who come and go or die at their easels take my presence in stride, and I have even been used as a muse on occasion. Can I ever spell occasion? It's my Achilles heel. Man, just give me. Yes, I meant. Could swear that's what I had. All right. Oh, pardon me. Let's see. By the end of my time with them, I am a master in my own right. Perhaps some of my works will outlive even me. ... Alrighty. I think I might end the stream here. I'm just feeling just a bit off and my throat is starting to hurt. I normally go for the full 3 hours, but I'm just feeling like I should just let it go at this point for now and continue next week. So yeah, let's just do that. For any viewers, thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Loppy, you were missed. Your sage advice is always appreciated, and I hope that you had a good night and a good week and etc. Otherwise, like I said, I'm gonna end the stream for now. But I'll be back on Thursday for Tales from the Loop. Sunday is another talk show, and then next week Tuesday back with 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. So again, I'm Scott of Scott's Case Files. If you're watching this on Twitch, all my stuff is below. If you're watching this on YouTube, all my links are in the description. So I hope you have a really great time. Good night, and don't be like Salah or Guillaume, go forth and do no harm. And bye for now.